and to tell one another, there are things in this world that are broken. There's things in this world that are not the way they're supposed to be, and we're not going to stand for it.
No, we're not.
We are going to name them.
Yes.
And we're going to claim them as something different. We're going to name them, and we're going to claim them.
Sure.
I think that could catch on.
Well, maybe.
I think that could catch on. And then we finish the final hour, the second hour.
The show.
With a right on.
Yes.
Because we're brought from that moment of lament
Yes.
to that moment of hope.
Yes.
To that moment of possibility, to that moment of proclamation. So the congregation gathers in lament and in hope.
Yeah.
In doubt and in faith.
Yes.
In struggle and in ecstasy.
Yeah.
In first hour and second hour. A Cripes, a Come On, and You've Got to Be Kidding Me are the Minnesotan version of the confession of sin.
Yeah.
The confession of brokenness.
Yeah.
I was at a movie theater last night watching a very delightful movie called The Descendants.
Oh.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. George Clooney.
Did you go by yourself?
I don't understand why I like that George Clooney guy. I'm not even bothered by the fact that my wife probably thinks he's a handsome fella.
Because you, deep inside, you think he's a handsome fella, too.
But I think he is just...
Yeah.
Just...
But what do you think about George Clooney?
I think George Clooney is just
hot, right? I think that's the word you're looking for.
You know, I never use those phrases about human beings. Hot, hottie. I can't even get myself to say that stuff. To just sort of...
Sexually pleasing? Is that?
Oh, my gosh. To just sort of objectify a human being in terms of temperature. But he's a handsome fellow.
Oh, okay.
I find him to be a delightful person to watch and to interact with.
You like watching George Clooney.
And I say to myself, I'm sure if we met, we'd be friends.
I thought you were going to say I'd have sex with him.
Oh, come on. See, that's the problem with you. All right. So we come up with a Cripe. So I'm sitting there in the theater watching this movie. Well, the previews before, which I love the previews. I go for the previews because it gives me a sense that my life has some future and some hope to it. I say to myself, oh, in 2 months I'm going to watch that movie. It perks up my future. It gives me something to wait around for. If I ever have to miss the previews, I don't mind missing the first minute or two of the movie. It's the previews that I feel like I've missed.
Yeah, it's like because of that preview, I can live until January 2nd.
I can hold on for another day. I mean, I'm so excited about some movies that are coming. So anyway, we're watching these, and there's little commercials they play. Right, they play commercials as well as movie previews and promotions. And this one comes on, and these people are, in frame, and they say things like, I take a sheet in the middle of the street. And then this other person comes on and says, I take a sheet in the office. And then a golfer's on there and says, I take a sheet in the sand trap. And you can tell it's supposed to be funny. And it's a while of this, 5, 6, 7 of these people, before you realize what they're advertising are these things called energy sheets.
Will's hand was on that button.
They are little, they are those little like breath
strips.
Fresheners, those strips, those little
Listerine breath.
Whatever those are made out of, whatever that stuff is, it sits on your tongue and soaks in. And these are energy sheet, like the energy drinks in a sheet. And I've just said to him, look, I am all for technology. I'm ready to have an upgrade on pretty much the entire human anatomy. But really? An energy sheet, like a dose of whatever vitamin B and C and D and X and whatever is in that thing that's supposed to give you a caffeine-like boost.
Yeah.
Melting in some glycerin-like fashion on your tongue.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could see my face right now, it's the facial expression of the Cripes.
Yeah. Hey, Will, do they still make acid on sheets like that?
You read my mind, actually.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's exactly how, I'm thinking the 70s is back or something.
Is that so? Is that how people would ingest their acid-based hallucinogen?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Really? Do you think they took this same technology and are like, hey, what else could we put inside that little acid strip?
No, I think they use Scotch tape, actually.
Oh, they use something different.
It's slightly different, but it's the same idea. Yes.
All right. Well, the Cripes goes out to the energy sheets. I mean, those sheets as a whole are just, and now to get your okay, so the Come On goes out to, I had 2 experiences on an airplane this week. I flew to Philadelphia, a lovely city, but I didn't feel all that loved by the brothers.
Really?
Well, it's a city of brotherly love, and I didn't feel all the brotherly love. But anyway, had a terrific time with people, though. But it was kind of
maybe you're putting off a vibe.
But it was kind of like here, I didn't feel anything. Oh, yeah, blame the victim. All right, so I'm on the airplane, and this gal behind me lands, and I'm flying back on this part of the flight. She sounds like she's got a classic New Yorker accent. Hi, Mom, she says. Yeah, I'm coming over. No, I don't care if my sister's going to be there. I'm not talking to that. And she lays into this tirade about her sister. And so, like, this is when the plane is taxiing. So she's right behind me, and the guy sitting next to me, we are laughing. I mean, full on shoulder shakes about this woman who's describing to her mom all the things about her sister, and that no good. You know what she ought to do, Mom?
What?
She ought to thank me for the 3 months that I let her and that live-in boyfriend of hers live in my house, and I don't need any of this grief from her. She's a prima donna, Mom, and it's just getting louder and louder on the air. I mean, and the whole plane is silent, and this woman's like got her head like looking at her lap and is just so into this conversation with her mom. It was unbelievable.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was just a come on.
You should have tried to record it.
Oh, I totally thought about it. Like, boy, if I could snap a picture and turn my phone on right now. But everyone was kind of looking at each other and watching this thing. So it was something else. Okay, so that gets the come on, because at some point, ma'am, you can't air that laundry in front of 138 other people inside of a little tube. Right. This is just no time for that. But you've got to be kidding me. On my way to Philadelphia, I'm on the airplane, and after I had read for a whole bunch, sometimes in the last 10 or 15 minutes before we're going to land, I like to open up my iPad and play a little solitaire.
Oh, really?
I'm such an old man that the games I play on my high-tech device is solitaire.
Right.
So I'm playing solitaire. I'm sitting there, and I'm right next to a guy. And all of a sudden, I see this guy's hand next to me sort of slide over with 3 fingers held up. And I kind of look, and I pause, and I kind of look, and I, out of the corner of my eye, glance over at him, and he goes, 3, move the 3, play the 3. Now this guy, a total stranger, is chiming in on my game. and I'm frozen now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? He reaches onto my iPad, grabs the 3, and moves it.
Awesome.
He starts playing. A total stranger reaches onto my lap, starts playing my game. It's not like it's bad enough to tell someone what they should play.
Yeah.
Like, that is just a personal space intrusion that is unexplainable. But to put your finger on the 3 and to move it,
awesome,
was unreal. I mean, I was in an utter state of shock.
Were you afraid that he was just going to play the entire game for you?
Oh, I had no idea I couldn't even think straight. Then every time, I'd turn a card or something, I was so full of anxiety that this guy,
his hand was going to reach over.
If I had been a bit more forward, like the gal, that sat behind me, I would have just said, hey, keep your hands off my game. And it's
right.
But who needs angst for the last 20 minutes of a flight? Right. Who needs to sit there in frustration? Well, so I just sort of absorbed it. Unbelievable experience. So Cripes goes out to the energy sheets people.
Yeah.
The poor gal that didn't have the sense of her surroundings to not go on and on about her sister on the airplane. She gets come on. And to all of us.
She didn't need the grief.
And then who, really? You reach across, you play a stranger's solitaire spot on his lap, on his iPad. Unbelievable. Hey, there are things in this world that don't go the way they're supposed to, but stick around. Yeah. Because we have the author of a book called Upside, and we're going to have, of course, the Right On. Doug Pagitt Radio on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and DougPagittRadio.com.